What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So it's Saturday. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Shout out to everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting. You guys freaking rule. Now, if you woke up this morning and you had a look at the markets, well, we are having yet another green day. So this is very nice as compared to my day over here in New York, where it's very rainy and ugly. So it's nice to see some green. Also, shout out to Jay from the Crypto Zombies community, because I have two more shirts to give away, guys. So as you can see right here, I have two of them, and this is the Crypto Zombie logo, if you haven't seen it, right here. So this is basically what it looks like. Really, really comfortable, really nice to wear. So I have a size large and a size extra large. So if you're interested, drop it in the comment below. We'll do a random drawing tomorrow, and I'll make sure to get that to you. Also, to everyone that also won t-shirts already, they're on their way, obviously, with the holidays. And I can't believe how many people actually watch this show from so many different countries. We had somebody from Germany, somebody from all these different countries. It was crazy. So anyway, moving on, having a look at the markets, guys, we are still kind of sitting around that same spot that we've been. We have a $132 billion market cap. Now, we have seen a little bit of insurgence overnight. However, Bitcoin dominance has pulled back, meaning that right now, the altcoins are seeing a little bit more love than Bitcoin currently. Now, having a look at where Bitcoin is, we're still just sitting here consolidating, winding tighter and tighter and tighter. The question is, are we going to go up or down? I mean, there's really only one of two options, right? Or we just continue to go sideways. So we could potentially retest all the way down to 3,100, or we could shoot up to, you have the 4,500 level or the 5,500 level. But we are keeping our eye on it very, very closely. Now, having a look at the biggest gainers of the day, we have Repo up 32%. Also, Dentacoin up 20% because, you got to keep those teeth clean. Crypto.com, Status, Tron, Litecoin, Ardor, Odom, Pivx, and Digix DAO, all for the day right now. Now, speaking of the uncertainty, it reminds me of when I first got into crypto. I actually saw this tweet from Damian Spriggs. It says, I remember back when I was getting started with crypto, waking up in the middle of the night at all hours, checking the market. I was such a rookie back then. Now, I just don't sleep at all. But seriously, I mean, I remember when I first got in, I'd be up turning, tossing all night, portfolios changing, right? It's so crazy. I'm sure you can all relate to that feeling. So the one thing I did want to talk about, though, is definitely, the education in this space. As more people begin to get involved in cryptocurrencies, there are certain levels of knowledge that we should really make sure that we understand before we progress to the next levels. I just wanted to point out that this was one of the things that we learned from the Proof of Keys event that happened on January 3rd, was surprisingly a lot of crypto holders didn't even know what private keys were. That's crazy. I mean, private keys are essentially the most important component to keeping your crypto assets safe. So if you don't know what a private key is right now, stop what you're doing. Google it. Very important. Maybe I'll do some kind of educational video. We'll go over the basics moving forward, but that's just something I kind of wanted to point out before we move on. Now, why personally I think that Bitcoin is going to have the greatest year it's ever had. There are just so many good things moving forward. I want to start off with just the simple transaction fees being at a 3-year low. So currently the fees are around 2 cents. Now you might be saying, well, isn't that because volume's down, right? There's not a lot of stress on the network. Well, no, that's not true at all. In fact, compared to 2015, where you were having transactions around 134,000 average daily, you're looking at today, we have almost, not quite, but almost double that, okay? but yet we're still paying the same amount. So that's pretty impressive moving forward. Now, I also want to talk about things like JM Bullion, the notable precious metal dealer, has been open to various methods of payments to purchase its gold and other precious metals. It opened its arms to Bitcoin back in 2016, and it utilizes BitPay. So it was noted that they accepted a whopping $60 million worth of Bitcoin in order to purchase their gold, and that was in 2017, which was 5 times more than what they had in 2016. So they go on to say that the scope of people paying through Bitcoin for expensive metals like gold showcases the need for anonymity and fraud taking place through credit cards. So there's also a Reddit thread that showcases how people are using JM Bullion's affiliation with Bitcoin to avoid tax gains by buying gold bars. However, specific users had cleared that even though gold is not taxed on IRS forms and cryptocurrency accounts are anonymous, the capital gains from gold is considered a taxable event, similar to buying another altcoin or cash. So actually, funny story from John McAfee about taxes, which we'll get into a bit later. But yeah, I mean, it looks like the COO of BitPay was right when he expressed his optimism for 2019, given the scale of Bitcoin being adopted, right? Now, the thing is when you look at all the excitement and all of the eyes that have recently, been focused on Bitcoin recently, it's a topic that fascinates everyone. You have economists, bankers, retail investors, computer scientists alike. This is likely due to the fact that cryptos are a lot different than really anything that's ever been created, right? They are innovative currencies. They're risky and speculative. We do know that. They could be referred to as digital gold, and they definitely had a lot of hype, for sure, in late 2017 and 2018. So whatever the rhetoric, Bitcoin fills the role of both a valuable investment and a gate to transport value quickly and cost effectively across the globe. Also, not to mention, the developments that have been coming out on the Lightning Network are pretty impressive. In fact, I have something really cool to tell you guys right after I'm done with this. So this article came out from Bitpanda, okay? And they say that Bitcoin is similar to gold. Bitcoin is supposed to be a universal asset that really belongs to the users, and that can be spent anywhere it's accepted. The main difference between the two currencies is that gold earned its reputation as a store of value over millennia, whereas Bitcoin has done the same in just 10 years. What took gold that long to do. By the way, sorry about the ugly highlighting color, guys. It's the only one I could use on this. It's this baby blue, so we just got to look at it while we're going through this. But anyway, they say Bitcoin is for money what the internet was for information. So this is another comparison, right? Back to the internet days. So in the 90s, there was no open internet available for all. Instead, there was a series of closed intra-networks, right? In those times, even Bill Gates himself said that he didn't believe in the success of an open free internet and pledged that Microsoft should work on its own intranet. Well, we know that turned out to be wrong. Bitcoin, like the internet, is a living digital organism that will be kept alive by the millions of people who participate in it. It's an ultra-secure payment network that can transfer billions in minutes, making it so interesting and exciting for the long term. Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, I already know that, right? Right. Well, think about that. The fact that it survived 10 years and it's still at the price that it is today is pretty phenomenal. And if we know things like the Lindy effect, well, it says that if something exists for a certain amount of time, it's likely that it will also exist for that amount of time again. So if Bitcoin's been around for a decade, the Lindy effect says that most likely Bitcoin will survive minimally at least another decade. Bitcoin's resilience isn't just a theory. The fact that the network has run itself since January 3rd of 2009 without disruption or major incidents is a proof of theory. In this sense, the Bitcoin experiment has been and still is an absolute complete success. There's an argument which states that the cryptocurrency has failed due to the fact that it hasn't been accepted by the masses, but this couldn't be farther from the truth, as the most popular currency is more omnipresent today than ever, despite its death being reported hundreds of times a year, which we just went into a situation before. The other thing, too, is don't forget the difficulty adjustment. I mean, Bitcoin has this almost mechanism so that it can't die. Because even if for some reason, all the miners shut down, difficulty adjust, well, some kid in his basement is just going to start mining it on his laptop again, right? And then we're going to start the whole cycle over again. So it's just an interesting thing. And like I said, with the Lightning Network, it's definitely going to put a lot of pressure on these other projects. Even guys like Litecoin. I like Litecoin. I'm a Litecoin fan. But you do have to wonder what'll happen once we have things like Lightning Network. I mean, especially with all these Bitcoin knockoffs. You have Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin, I don't even know. So many Bitcoins, right? Now, I wanted to talk about something that actually is really awesome. Now, when we had Alex from Nuggets News on the live stream the other day, he was kind of teasing us about this product. Well, it looks like Travel by Bit and Living Room of Satoshi have released a beta of their new Bitcoin Lightning Wallet of Satoshi. Now, from what I gather, this is supposed to be a super simple, your grandma can use it type dApp, which is exactly what we need moving forward in this space. So the development of the Bitcoin Lightning Network has been progressive throughout 2018. Obviously, even though the price was down, these guys kept their heads down. They stayed working. And it's definitely the technology that a lot of us are very excited for. So you have Daniel of Living Room of Satoshi's explains that Wallet of Satoshi is designed to be the world's simplest Lightning wallet. We want everyone and their mom to be able to participate in the new international economy, so it's focused on ease of use and is currently available on iOS and Android. However, they are only doing a beta and it's limited to the first 1,000 people that download it right now. So I haven't tried it yet. I don't know. I just looked at this today. So, they say Lightning is the real world retail payment that we've been anticipating for years. It's finally here. It's extremely fast, cheap, and easy to use. And you can see some screenshots right here. I mean, it does look pretty damn simple. They're counting in Satoshis, which could be a little confusing for most people. But I think in the end, eventually, we might just start calling them Satoshis because Bitcoin's price is eventually going to be so large. You're not going to be buying things. You're not going to be purchasing something with 1 Bitcoin. You're going to be purchasing it with maybe 12 Satoshis or something like that, right? So they also say that the leading merchant adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a form of payment in Australia is by Travel by Bit, who, if you guys don't know, they actually recently kind of partnered with Binance to accelerate their development, and they also are using the BNB token as well. This is really cool. They say that Travel by Bit can be used in Australia, including the Brisbane International Airport. That's pretty incredible. So Wallet of Satoshi and Travel by Bit are working to encourage Lightning Network adoption, and they say that they need your help. So if you are in the Brisbane Airport, try making a purchase using the Lightning Network and tweet it to show the world Australia is leading the way with this technology. So there you guys go. Now, even though it's only limited to 1,000, they say that the first full public versions are going to be available within the next upcoming weeks. So that's something that I'm definitely very, very excited for moving forward. Now, let's also talk about the regulation, right? We hate talking about it, right? Screw regulation. We don't need them. It's decentralized utopia for everyone, right? Well, you have the Gemini cryptocurrency exchange, which is founded by the Winklevoss twins. They say that they need better regulation for the crypto space, and they have this new ad campaign that's going out. So they have all these different ads. You can find them in taxis. They're in the New York City subway. And they contain slogans like crypto needs rules, or you have other things like crypto without chaos, right? Money has the future. And they go on to say that money has a future. And they go on to say that we believe that investors coming into cryptocurrency deserve the exact same protection as investors in more traditional markets, adhering to same standards, practices, regulations, and compliance protocols. Now, while a lot of us out here may say, screw this, I do know a good amount of individuals that literally will not get involved in cryptocurrency until regulation is clear. People I've spoken to, friends, families, acquaintances, they say, I'm not getting involved until this is regulated. So you got to take this both ways, guys. You want masses to come in, but not everyone's as risky as we are, right? So blockchain education platform Cryptic Nation said that exchanges like Gemini are seeking regulation from the same individuals and cartel leaders that have been screwing the average man for years. This sign makes me sad. Okay, so there's your opposing viewpoint. You also have Neha Narula, director of digital currency initiative at the MIT Media Lab, said that regulations are not consistently applied throughout the crypto space. She said there's a huge problem with market integrity, with consumer protection, and we definitely need to make sure that regulations are being enforced where they apply. Now, there was some criticism towards this, as I'm sure you guessed. By the way, here's like some of the stuff. This is what it looks like. See, here's one crypto needs rules. Here's another one if I scroll down. Finally, a regulated place to buy, sell, and store crypto. So this is on a subway. But anyway, getting into this, so you know, hey, Gemini, crypto has a lot of rules already, and this is Eric Voorhees, so he says he's not happy, and he says crypto is rules. He says these rules are stronger than any political inscriptions. They are objective, open, and knowable to all parties. They transcend borders, and they are enforced by mathematics. Crypto is a system of laws and not men. Actually, you had Nick Foley even respond saying, rules like mathematics? Sure, crypto needs that. Rules like KYC, AML licensing, taxation, Patriot Act, BitLicense, BS? No. Crypto doesn't need that. In fact, you know, a lot of the reasons why I can't use, which is funny, it's actually Eric Voorhees' website, Shapeshift, in New York, is because I get censored. If you guys, I don't have it pulled up right now, but if you guys saw what the other day was, I could go to it actually right now. Well, let me just read this article for a second. So it says economists at the Bank of England said that they're considering Bitcoin is a monopoly run by a protocol. It doesn't need rules or policies enforced by the government or central entities. Data is processed. Bitcoin is not regulated. It cannot be regulated. There's no need to regulate it because as a system, it is committed to the protocol as is, and the transaction fees it charges the users are determined by the users independently of the miners' efforts. Bitcoin's design as an economic system is revolutionary and therefore would merit an economist's attention and scrutiny even if it had not been functional. Its apparent functionality and usefulness should further encourage economists to study this marvelous structure. So as you guys can see here real quick, if I go to shapeshift.io, I don't know what all this crap is right here. No, Siri, what is happening? So you guys will see censored. So there you go. So moving on, guys, I wanted to talk about censorship. So this is what happened to Gab.com, right? Now, this is an issue that we are seeing because, in one hand, we want these centralized exchanges and entities, but on the other hand, look what they're able to do. So Gab.com says, as predicted, the on-ramps and off-ramps exchanges are going to start censoring not only companies, but also individuals. Coinbase has now banned both Gab's merchant account and Andrew Torba's personal account. Decentralized exchanges are the future. You can see down here, even guys like BitLord are like, what do you have to say for yourself? So much for freedom and censorship, free world, disgraceful. Now, there was this article that came out a while ago. Now, they were saying that apparently, you know, Gab, they're all about free speech. Now, free speech, that's questionable. What's free? Is hate speech free speech? Is, you know, anti-Semites are starting to look at a lot like they're, I don't even want to read this, man. This is just a lot of crazy stuff. They talk about, yeah, I don't even want to go into this, like white supremacists and stuff like that, which is totally not freaking cool in any standard. But yeah, so they basically say that might have been the reason, but even so, you know, free speech, man. I mean, here's the thing. I believe in cause and effect, okay? Yes, I believe everyone should be able to say whatever they want. However, I also believe that if you're going to go, you know, say some racial comments to some guy at a bar and he turns around and decks you in the face, well, that's cause and reaction, right? But, you know, do you agree with being censored? Do you agree with, you know, having an opinion, even if it's a hateful, negative opinion, and getting your account banned? Now, I'm not saying that this is what Andrew was doing. I'm just saying this is a question we have to ask ourselves. Where do we draw the line between censorship? And where do we draw the line between free speech? You see what I'm saying? So these are all things that we need to consider moving forward. Now, the topic that I really wanted to talk about today, guys, was it's kind of it's pretty negative. It's not really a great thing. I'm not happy to be bringing this up, but it was talked about in my Telegram chat. I saw a lot of people really concerned about this, and what I want to talk about is what was happening with some of these VCs, these investors with these ICOs, and you know why we saw what happened in 2018, okay? So they call them the VC cartel. Now, in this particular example, they use FBG, okay? There are tons of VCs. This can apply to any of them. This article is specifically using them as an example because we actually have data we can go off of, right? So these guys are the FinTech blockchain group. That's what FBG stands for. And they quickly became one of the most controversial crypto management funds of Asia, they turned $20 million into $200 million in less than a year. But let's be real, that wasn't that hard to do when you had things like Neo running from like 11 cents all the way up to 180 bucks. I mean, pretty much anyone could 10x back then. But getting onto that, they say in early 2017, before the start of the ICO frenzy, so this guy, the founder, I don't know how to say his first name, but we'll just call him Mr. Zhu, and a few of his Chinese buddies from universities joined together and raised around 20 million. They started investing in promising projects like Omisego, Tron, and MakerDAO. Okay, those are all ones that we're familiar with. And you can see right here, they do have their portfolio, which I have pulled up, which I'll go into in a second. But I want to talk about what was happening. So at the end of 2017 and early 2018, investing in ICOs wasn't about finding good projects. It was about getting into them, generating hype around them. The name of the game was find a good project with the help of engineers and specialists to examine the tech. And if it looked good and the teams were good and you could hype it up, most crypto funds didn't care about long-term investments, which is sad in my opinion. And, they would just basically make a quick buck and dump the projects. A lot of these guys were getting in at early pre-sales, okay? Way before the ICO even hit. In fact, in some situations, the ICO never even came out publicly, right? So they say one can almost compare it with the boy band boom of the 90s. Find pretty boys that can sing, at least ones that don't sound horrible, now generate crazy hype and cash out, right? So they go on to say some of the things that they were offering. They had a one market making digital. So yeah, they would do all these things. They would talk to exchanges for you. You guys can read all this. They talk about some of the things that had happened with these, right? So then there was this article that came out in Forbes, and it was called Asia's Hottest Crypto Fund. The article highlighted their dubious strategies and also highlighted several negative aspects. For example, why did FBG buy into Tron? We thought he was a very good market maker, talking about Justin Sun. So he has over 450,000 Twitter followers. Now we know that Justin Sun, he hypes, right? We know this. That's no secret, right? So they're telling me that they got invested into this because they thought that he would be good at hyping it, right? Now they say that they've given back their Tron investment. I don't know. That's just what they're saying. They also have a reputation for getting in and out of investments quickly. They're flippers, right? So you have Yubo Ron, founder of Palo Alto-based 8 Decimal Capital, a rival crypto hedge. He said their reputation is known as pump and dump. So FBG obtained a reputation of getting discounts and selling them at premium at higher rates to other funds, VCs, and pools. This behavior became very popular in 2018. Get allocations to sell them for more than what you had to pay. Make quick, risk-free money. Sound too good to be true? Honestly, guys, I don't want to out certain people in the space, but there are guys right now that I know were participating in this. Some of them have YouTube channels. I'm not going to call them out because I don't think that now's the time to do something like that, but this was happening, okay? And it definitely got dark. I mean, geez, my life changed when I went to Consensus. I saw, before Consensus, it was all fun and exciting and everything was about this new space. And then Consensus was just like a bunch of greedy businessmen in suits just trying to flip freaking coins. Seriously. So it was just crazy. Anyway, so they say that we know because that this was happening because they were offered this before. Now, unfortunately, this goes to talk about Ergo. So Ergo is a project that I've even recently had on the channel. We spoke to Phil Zamani. I even did a review about them. The tech, everything, in my opinion, I consider them to almost be like the next potential icon doing like a reverse ICO, right? Well, looks like FBG is involved with these guys. And what has happened is that they said they were rumored to be complaining about FBG Capital selling their allocations on the over-the-counter market. Now, this is actually Ergo complaining about this. They say, we know this because we were offered allocation from 3 different sources. A week later, Ergo announced that publicly they would increase the amount of locked tokens. So I guess in a response to this, what they did was they decided that, over time, these VCs get their tokens unlocked, right, in tiers. So maybe they'll get like 25% this month, 25% next month. Sometimes it's stretched out longer. Well, it looks like they've cut it back. So let's say they were going to get 50%. Now they're only going to get 20%, right? They say we know most broker dealers in the space, and often FBG Capital are the ones that are selling their tokens. The main problem with this system is that these VCs have direct contact with the team and are selling their allocation to the public as soon as bad news comes in. Essentially, it's insider trading on the OTC market. It also causes a dilution of interest as the secondary markets buy the tokens over the counter, most of them getting burned, leaving the exchanges dry and open for easy price manipulation. So they also say others like Multicoin Capital and Polychain, some of the best funds in the world, have also reported losses, okay? So it's not to say that everyone's doing well. A lot of guys are getting hit, okay? Galaxy Digital, for example, they had $170 million hit. 9 funds, including Alpha Protocol, Crowd Crypto Fund, have decided to freaking close down. Kyle Samani, the co-founder of Multicoin Capital, says that new capital has slowed for even high-profile funds. So is this a cause and effect? Where did it start? Well, the thing that we know right now speaking is that the ICO venture cartel, as we know, is running out of fuel, okay? Their deceiving tactics are not fooling anyone anymore. If you want to know who's going to win, look at projects that regular people are talking about, the ones that the average person can invest 1 ETH or something like that, okay? The ones that show actual use cases, the ones that have actual real world purposes for their blockchains, those that show understanding for token economics and decentralized networks, CEOs that talk about the inherent problems with centralized solutions in every industry in the world, people that are actually passionate about decentralized ledger technologies. Now, this is a big issue. People are losing trust in ICO. Well, we've already lost trust in ICOs. We definitely don't trust the VCs anymore. And having a look over here, and guys, I'm not picking on FBG specifically. This article just happens to talk about them. I know good VCs. I'm friends with some guys that have held the whole way down. I mean, these are good guys that invested and they haven't sold and they're hurting because they did the right thing. But meanwhile, you have guys like this that are completely disrespecting it. They're greedy and they are just selling out, okay? Now, if you have a look at their portfolio, the only thing that really has done well is Zilliqa. For the most part, if you look at the return of investments in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and ROI, they're basically all down as well. Now, the question is why are they down? Are they down because they got dumped? Or are they down just because that's the natural cycle of the markets? I don't know. You'll have to ask yourself that one. We'll probably never know. I personally think it's a whirlwind of everything. But looking down here, I mean, look at some of these projects, right? You have Certic, Kyber, Mainframe, P-Chain, for example, AirSwap, Exum, Nebulous, Elf, right? Now, if we look over here, let's have a look at what they've done. Okay, so we have Uchain. Let's have a look at what happened. So here we go. There's a little initial pump, kind of, and then it's a straight dump. Okay, let's move on to another one. Eden, right? Let's look at this. Very minimal pump right in the beginning, and then just straight flat dump. Let's look at some other ones. Quark Chain. Quark Chain, pretty much straight up dump. Never even had a pump. Pretty much just straight up dumped straight down. Okay, and now ask yourself the question, are these projects all bad? They may not be, but unfortunately, because of what these investors have done, these VCs, the public has lost interest. Let's look at some other ones. Mainframe. I actually like Mainframe. I think what these guys are doing is really cool. Look at this. Initial pump, dump, right? What other projects we got in here? ArcBlock. Look at ArcBlock. Okay, ArcBlock actually started with a dump. Looks like someone pumped it, but initially it started with a dump. So the only people that had the tokens in the beginning were the VCs, were the people that got into the ICO. Boom, dump. Okay, so it had a spike and it went down. Let's look into some other ones. IoTex. Now, I remember this specifically. Look, if we go back here, it did dump. But it spiked because it immediately had a Binance listing, so people got really crazy over it, but then it just dumped anyway, okay? Let's look at some other ones. P-Chain, right? P-Chain was supposed to be so promising. You had Dr. Jeff Cow, the godfather of blockchain. He was friends with everybody. Look, initial pump, dump. Let's look at other ones. Let's look at some other ones. Constellation, this is another project. I spoke with these guys. I did an interview with them. They, unfortunately, got involved with these guys, and from what I found out, they ended up, I guess they ended up selling FBG discounts of 98%, which, at this point, why not just give the freaking tokens away for free? And, not to our surprise, dump. And now, unfortunately, the most recent one is Ergo, which currently does not have a market cap. They're still trying to figure it out yet. I actually did the math on it. I think it's around like 2.8 million right now. But look, as we could see here, straight dump, little mini pump, straight dump, right? And this is a project that, I considered to actually be legitimate, but no one cares because if VCs are dumping, they're just going to kill these projects. Now, they have one that they recently listed. Let me go back here. So the newest one that they invested in, look at all these partners they have down here or whatever, or intersected companies, but they have Ultrain, UGAS. Now, this hasn't been promoted yet. Now Ultrain has come out, and you can find it, from what I'm aware of, at BGogo. And currently, well, actually, it actually did have a dump when it came out, but it looks like Ultrain hasn't dumped yet. In fact, this came out November 20th. So it's been over a month now, and it's been relatively steady, but I'm wondering why they haven't dumped this one yet. Kind of weird, right? Maybe it's because it's not hyped up yet. Maybe as soon as a lot of people start making videos about it, it'll dump, right? So, I don't know. Just wanted to point that out, guys. Just be careful out there. Also, I just want to tell you about something that has been pissing me off, and it's these guys. I don't know who they are, NAI Technology or Now Tech or whatever the hell this is. These guys have been spamming the crap out of my Crypto Zombies email. Stop doing it, please. I'm not interested, guys. I've unsubscribed from the freaking list, and I get literally 3 to 4 different things from this company. Stop, okay? And just stop, okay? Publicly. I gotta say that out loud. All right. Now, I was going to put this story in a little bit earlier, but I didn't feel like it flowed correctly. I just wanted to talk about John McAfee, because we were talking about taxes. It is tax season, so you guys should do the right thing and report your taxes, but, you know, especially... Well, anyway, it's for another day. But John McAfee, look at this. He says, I haven't filed my tax return in 8 years. Why? He says, number one, taxation is illegal. Taxation is theft. I mean, I have my opinions on certain taxes for sure. I paid tens of millions already and received jack for it in services. I'm done making money. I live off cash for McAfee Incorporated. My net income is negative, but I am a prime target for the IRS. Here I am. He goes on to say, no one will F with the enormous power of the IRS. It emerged as an SS-like intimidation arm of the government during Prohibition, when drinking alcohol was a crime, unable to buy legitimate alcohol. The public relied on family stills. From destroying stills, it now destroys us. I have prepared my entire life for this battle. We will not be able to shrug off the yoke of this corrupt and insane government without a struggle. Yeah, and he just kind of goes on and on and on and on and on and again. But I just think it's really funny how he says he's done trashing the SEC. Let's move on to the IRS, the agency that takes from you an average of 3 months of your labor each year. Yeah, I'll give him that. First, taxation is theft. It's unconstitutional. That is crazy when you think about it, especially in the U.S. Like, some people are like, oh, I just give them, 30%, 33%. It's like, well, what you really do is you work the first 3 months for free, right? Wait, so... What is, I don't even know what taxes are anymore. All I know is I hate them and they're too much. They're too much! The damn taxes are too high. So, moving on, guys, I wanted to talk about some coin news and then get on out of here because I know this video is going to drag on for quite some time. So, let's talk about Dash. So, while crypto power and reliability continue to grow across the globe, countries around the world like Turkey, Russia, Venezuela, India, China, and Iran, amongst others, are now shelving the use of the US dollar for trade. In light of the evolution, Dash has been making huge inroads towards mass adoption in many regions across the world, especially in countries like Venezuela, beefed with sanction resulting in erratic inflation, and Colombia. What's interesting is, according to the update, the adoption of the altcoin in Colombia has recently skyrocketed, exceeding 300 merchants. But what's crazy is they say, well, this is speaking to George Connolly. He's from Dash Colombia. He says, I would estimate at least 90% of our merchants and event attendees have not heard of Bitcoin? What? He says, of course, Dash is brand new to them as well. The developing world is virgin territory for cryptocurrency. By committing to a developing world strategy, Dash can dominate the regions where crypto is most apt to take hold first. This is crazy to think that they're saying 90% haven't even heard of Bitcoin, let alone any of these other cryptocurrencies. It just goes to show you how freaking early this is, but also how countries like this really do need stuff like this. I mean, it's fun to speculate as a US citizen, but, when you're living in these other countries, you really do need a better form, right? I also want to talk about a little bit Tron. So Justin Sun has come out. He's made some crazy predictions and things he wants to achieve in 2019. He says he wants to break into the top 4 cryptocurrencies, make Tron's ecosystem larger than that of Ethereum, bring BitTorrent 100 million users to the blockchain, which they're doing with the BTC token and all that, and then make Tron the largest decentralized ecosystem. So, I mean, some of the accomplishments they had already was more transaction volume compared to Ethereum, more accounts as compared to EOS, over 1 million registered users in little over 6 months of going live on the mainnet, more than 80 dApps in 60 days, and a place in the list of top 10 largest cryptocurrencies. But the one thing I wanted to point out was this was actually I'm actually going to drag this in because I forgot to put it in. This is a picture. And, this is basically tribalism in I don't know, what is this? What is this tree? Anyway, it says, our wonderful coin, their stupid coin. And it's basically going to show you that it's the same thing on both sides, but yet, you know, these people say, our glorious developers, they're incompetent fools. Our informed community, they're ignorant masses. Our free thinkers, they're blind followers. Our lively decisions, they're incessant trolling, right? Tribalism in crypto. It's a problem. We need to definitely stick together, guys. So, also, we have this that came out, Bitcoin fraudsters. So apparently John Key, former New Zealand Prime Minister, is the latest in a line of notable individuals involved unknowingly in a crypto scam that was going on. So the scammers were using popular TVNZ presenter Haley Holt, New Zealand's prime minister as well. So crypto revolt. Stay away from this, guys. Stay away from this. Also, I wanted to talk about another thing. This is a really crazy episode today. The Dark Overlord unveils layer 1 of damaging 9/11 papers. So this is the guy that was doing the, or guys, people, we don't know who they are, the ransom to release documents for 9/11. They want to get paid in Bitcoin. They've apparently leaked different layers of, obviously, I guess the higher the layer, the more severe the leak, and the higher the layer, the more they want to get paid. So there you go right there. I guess layer 5 requires $2 million of Bitcoin. I don't know who's going to pay that, but it's happening. Now, also, I want to talk about the Financial Stability Board, a global Also, guys, I don't know what's up with this Christmas tree. It's like frozen behind me. Something's wrong with my computer. I've been hacked. No. The Financial Stability Board, a global intergovernment body with over 20 member countries, has ruled that virtual currencies are not a threat to the world economy. So why am I bringing this up? Well, the reason I'm talking about this is because even though the assessments are not legally binding with the FSB members countries, they're usually adhered in order to maintain global standards. So India's central bank could potentially be easing their stance. However, they haven't done anything right now. Some people say this is a bad thing. Nishal Shetty, CEO of WazirX, or something like that, an Indian cryptocurrency exchange, said that lack of regulation isn't always a bad thing. It probably means that the government of India does not see crypto as a matter of immediate concern or something that needs to be regulated right away. This at least means that fears of bans are, not imminent. But also at the same time, I would kind of like for them to take it seriously. Like, we saw the G20 summit, they just kept postponing it. They didn't really see the need for cryptocurrencies. They didn't really take it seriously. So that's not really good either. But I guess it's good in the sense that, these guys are saying that it's not a threat. So we'll take it, guys. And if that's not enough, before we go, want your marriage certificate to be stored on the blockchain? Now you can in Nevada. That's right, guys. So a county in Nevada is allowing marriage certificates to be stored on the Ethereum blockchain. So take into note that it's only the marriage certificate, not the actual marriage license, but nevertheless, there you go. Marriage license on the blockchain. Boom. There we go. Now, before we go, everyone was asking about the Coldlar Pro wallet giveaway. So Crypto Candor did it the other day, so I'll actually do this. If you guys want, you can see it right now live.
Winners, draw winners. Here we go.
All right, so
good luck, everyone. Draw winners. 2 winners to draw. 2 winners unpicked with 495 potential users that can win. Let's do this. So we have John at John Rennie on Twitter, and Emlyn, which is at Hawnlands. I will tweet you guys.
So there you guys go right there, zooming in. Obviously, these are the 2 winners. So if you guys are watching my channel, go watch this video and see how to claim it, because I don't run the competitions and stuff, but if you want, definitely check that out, and congratulations to those of you that won. Now, if you didn't win, don't worry, guys. There's so many different things. For example, Coin Codex is doing this Who's Your Favorite Crypto YouTuber giveaway. You don't have to pick me, guys. I really don't care. I'm just trying to hook you up. You can go over there, pick your favorite YouTuber, and you have a chance to win a Ledger Nano X. They currently only have 1,500 people that entered. There's 3 Ledger Nanos. So far, that's a pretty good sporting chance. So just wanted to point that out. Sorry today's episode was so long, guys. It was crazy. So much nefariousness going on in the background. I usually try to keep it positive. I wish I had something more positive to say right now. But yeah, there was just so much I wanted to talk about, especially that the Crypto Zombies community in the Telegram chat, they were really upset about this, and this upset me too, because, it's not fair that potential projects out there that actually could be good projects are just having their market caps destroyed by greedy VC investors. So I just wanted to point that out. But guys, hey, I did start the video by talking about all the good stuff about Bitcoin, right? Looking forward to a very positive year. I know this video is super long. Tomorrow's video will not be that long, I promise. Also, if you guys want, remember, drop a comment below if you want the t-shirt. If you want large, extra large, let me know, and I'll pick that for you tomorrow. Once again, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Everyone that's been liking, subscribing, commenting, you rule. Promise tomorrow's video will be shorter. That being said, my name's K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto, and peace out.